So in the spirit of providing you with real DeFi yield-driven opportunities, I bring before you Reya Network, who has started their liquidity generation event approximately 2 days ago. You can see the counter at the top of the screen right here. Sorry to interrupt you there, folks. I just want to quickly chime in and mention that we are currently working on a project called Numerical. It's DeFi as a service, meaning you'll get exposed to real DeFi protocols that generate real revenue, aka real yield, and you're gonna get a cut of this without doing the setup yourself. All you have to do is enter, claim, or withdraw. Very simple. So your capital is available at all times to take, and you can choose the option where to invest. More details in the description and in our community chat. So before we get into what Reya Network is, how much they raised, what they're planning to do, let's just talk about the gist of it if you are an airdrop farmer or if you're somebody who wants to take part of an upcoming big project. All right, so all you need to do here is provide liquidity as per the right top corner of the screen, and that's pretty much it. So there are no lockups here, by the way. So when you provide your liquidity, you'll start earning XP, aka points, and that's it, leading up to the mainnet launch. So like I said, you click on provide liquidity and that will prompt you to another window, which you would connect your wallet. And first, before you see this, whatever I'm seeing right here, there's a smaller window that says reserve boost. It will show you 3x reserve boost that will bring you here. You connect your wallet and then you choose between these 4 blockchains. So choose either Ethereum mainnet, OP, Polygon, or Arbitrum, and you have to deposit usdc.e. So that's the only liquidity coin that they're accepting, right? So that's it. So you deposit usdc.e and you pretty much start earning XP right away. So the thing is, you can withdraw, but there's no button right now. So they're in the works of integrating this, but you can do that through the smart contracts. But keep in mind that if you wish to do so, you'll stop earning rewards, and the rewards, so the points that you've already earned, will be cancelled altogether. So there's that to keep in mind. If you really need the liquidity that you just provided, you're gonna have to understand what goes on in the end. And so far, they have basically accumulated a total of almost 157 million. So 157 million USDCE have been given during that event. And that event, again, keep in mind, it has started 2 days ago. Yes, you are early. Yes, there's still time, and the boost is not so bad. So yesterday it was 4x, just FYI. However, I received this yesterday, and I have posted this on my Telegram group. So again, I keep saying that if you wanna, take part of our conversations, if you wanna take part of stuff like this that could pop up that are decent and they're shared early, be sure to join the group. So the video is a bit delayed because I didn't have time to publish it yesterday, but it's still a nice boost. And once you actually do the deposit, you're gonna get another prompt where you can get additional boosts by choosing what they call the Son of Chronos. So you will have like a nice small game that appears in front of you. You choose something, and then at the end of the day, it could give you an additional boost. All right, so that's something cool to have on top. And if you have friends who want to join, you can share a referral link with them, and then you also get something on top. I have added mine at the bottom of the video in the description right here, so feel free to use it. If you want to start this, it will immediately take you to the provision of liquidity and you can get into it straight away. So what is Reya Network? All right, so Reya Network is not just a project here, but Reya Network is a whole new layer 2. Now, of course, you will take this as something that is already out there. So there are so many layer 2, so on and so forth. But what they're planning to do is a bit different. So they want to have a trade optimized layer 2 with high scalability, capital efficiency, as well as good performance and deep liquidity on top. So what their plan here is to attack a very big problem that we face in DeFi. And I'm sure you've seen this, of course. So you go on a specific blockchain, all right, and you want to, let's say, use a lending and borrowing market. So you go there, and then let's say you lend your USDT and you want to borrow another asset. However, due to the high utilization rate, if you want to borrow USDC, for example, specifically right now, you're going to pay a lot. So it's not lucrative anymore because there's such capital segregation across the blockchain. You're gonna have so many of these markets. In one market, you will see, let's say, a lot of demand, a bit of supply, and on the other market, you'll see the opposite, right? So a lot of supply and a bit of demand. And unfortunately, you cannot, use capital here to leverage it there and vice versa. Each platform has its own liquidity and you cannot mix them up. And that's a big problem. At the end of the day, of course, you would argue that on one hand, LP providers will take advantage of the lack of liquidity, higher price impacts, they get more fees. But at the other end, you yourself will be a trader one day, not necessarily using a degen leverage strategy, but if you want to, let's say, simply swap USDCE or USDC versus ETH, like I do almost daily, you want to have the deepest liquidity for that pool on a specific protocol. So you want to search for that. And as a rule of thumb, people tend to go for PancakeSwap or Uniswap because that's where most of the liquidity is. But at the end of the day, people in general do not search where the deep liquidity is. They just go where, for example, their friend recommended them and then just swap. They don't think it through and then they end up paying more than they should. So it's very important for capital to be efficient across the board for both traders and liquidity providers. And that's something that they want to tackle. So I really advise you to, for example, go through a read here. There's a nice Medium article. Just quickly scan it. No need to really read in detail and understand the pillars that they want to tackle. So like I said, liquidity, capital efficiency, and performance. Because sure, you might have a place where there's a lot of liquidity, but if there's no performance, so it's not scalable, it's not fast, it's not efficient, then you're gonna go elsewhere, right? So you need that. So at the end of the day, their goal here is to have one layer 2, so a single blockchain that has a big liquidity pool, and all the underlying protocols that they wish to deploy on them will have access to that liquidity. So all of these protocols will technically have a lot of liquidity to access. And it's good for LP providers because they're gonna have their capital efficiently utilized and then they're gonna earn more. So it's good for these guys and it's good for traders because they're gonna have more liquidity to tap into to perform their trades. So overall, it's a nice concept, but it's not novel, all right? So, and we're gonna mention quickly why. And one more thing I want to say, that this could be a bit detrimental for airdrop farmers for the capitals that launch on Reya in the future, because the protocols that launch on Reya, because evidently, there won't be a place to add liquidity to potentially get an airdrop because that liquidity will already be existing on the blockchain. So take advantage of that right now, and I think that's a good opportunity for a good project that has raised serious funds. We're gonna check that soon. One more thing I want to mention is that this could actually be a nice off-ramp from SEX to DEX, because there are services, specifically crypto payments, that leverage the deep liquidity that exists on a centralized exchange to make their swaps from crypto to fiat. So they want a place where there's a lot of both. And unfortunately, DeFi cannot offer that right now. So it's really complicated because liquidity, like I said, is segregated and there are security concerns. So if and only if there's a place in the DeFi realm that can provide a service for crypto payments, I'm sure it will be amazing. And many, or not many, at least there will be startups in that industry that will potentially try up DeFi services because they're better, in my personal opinion, than their SEX equivalents. And if there's such a place, Reya could be the recipient of some of it. So like I said, they do have serious backings. So you can check that on two good websites. So there's this one, Crypto Fundraising, and there's this one, CryptoRank. Now CryptoRank shows 16 million because it shows the 2 rounds, whereas Crypto Fundraising shows just the recent one in March of 2024. I think because that one happened almost 2 years ago, so 2 years and 2 months ago, maybe that website didn't even exist then, that's why it doesn't show up. But overall, there's 16 million of capital coming in from VCs to back up Reya Labs. All right, so Reya Labs is the entity behind Reya Network. And one thing I want to note is that when I see Coinbase Ventures backing up a specific project or protocol or network, then it gives me more confidence to basically take part of it. And that's something very important. You want to get behind legit companies that do not just throw capital at any upcoming startup but actually make the research and choose the most potentially, lucrative and most potentially, successful ones. And that's something that I always check on top of, all the other research that we conduct when we actually look at these startups and the potential airdrops that could come after them. One more thing I want to say is that yes, the concept is not novel because DYDX, the perpetual DEX, they have their own underlying blockchain of the Cosmos ecosystem, but unfortunately, it's not optimal from that perspective because you have to keep in mind that what they do is a bit different as well. So the underlying platforms or the underlying protocols that want to launch on DYDX will not have access to their capital. So that's something to keep in mind. And plus, right now their TVL is less than the liquidity generation that Reya network has so far acquired. Keep in mind, so far, that's a key word, and there's still a lot of days ahead of us until they shift completely, until there's something that will be happening, but there's still time. All right, so yes, like I said, I'll keep repeating myself, there's still time, you're still early. All right, so I'll just end this by saying that we do have a Telegram group. I mentioned this at the beginning, lots of cool things shared there. Consider joining, link will be below. And with that, see you in the next one. Have a good one.